Yo, what is going on? It is Cody from Big Beaver Comics. Let me drop a little game on you. I'm going to try to give people that are new to the sport, and it's a sport, do not get yourself twisted. It is competitive like a motherfucker out here. The sport of comic book collecting and flipping. This industry, now, okay, I'm going to speak to a lot of people who've been in this racket for years. You've been here since the 80s. You were here pre-bust of the early mid-90s. You supersede that era. I'm with you. But there are a lot of people that just got with this thing in the last couple of years. You know, just with it in the last couple of years, that kind of blows my mind because, pop culture, it's been around and it's been bumping for a long time. And the fact of the matter is that the first appearance of anybody of any consequence in pop culture usually happened in some type of paper published medium, not on the silver screen. It happened somewhere where the conceptualization of an idea took place on paper and then transcended into pulp culture into a much bigger stratosphere. But it always, or it seems to always, 95% of the time, start, let's call it what it is, in the comic books. So people have been funneling into comic books, especially in the last couple of years. And for all of you people, everybody involved, old, new, and everyone in the middle, what you notice in the last couple of years, in the last 6 months, is the prices continue to climb. What does that mean? So I'm a comic book seller. I'm supposed to tell you, you know what? You're supposed to push all your cards to the middle of the table, dog. Push all of them there. Push all your money into there and invest in Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme from the 90s. That's where it's going to be. That's where the spec is in the future. No, man. I'm not going to tell you that. What I'm going to tell you is for the new and the old, please do not let the hype get out of control in regards to your pocketbook. You know where your money's at. You know what you should be spending. If you've been here before or you haven't, let me give you a quick education on where it counts. Exclusive or high ratio incentivication variant covers, especially in high grade. That's going to be something you encounter really recently. In the last 10 or 15 years, 10 years more so. But that's what you're looking for rare stuff. On top of that, first appearances, cameos, possibly first covers or covers that are iconic, that transcend comics, that have been made into posters and that people in your regular everyday life might recognize and go, yeah, fuck yeah, I've seen that picture before. Yeah, that means you've crossed the Rubicon from being just popular in the comic sphere, in the genre, and you're actually popular abroad, everywhere. That's the stuff you're looking for. Please do not let fear of missing out, the fact that there's first appearances of everybody that was ever in a Disney Plus show. I know. That's cool for me too. I'm super psyched about all that, but I do not want you to go out and pay inflated retail prices for every Tom, Dick, and Harry random fucking character that's going to appear once, twice. It's going to be inconsequential. You should be paying common book prices for common books. You should be paying adequate prices based on grade and based on the character for Silver Age books. You should be paying, it's a fluctuating and a stingy market, but it's something that still has its own flow to it in the golden age. It still has a semblance of rationality. You should not be in a fear of missing out, paying for things because you saw them once on television. I'm telling you, if you're new to this, please don't overinvest in things. You're going to watch the bottom fall out of it. I'm not saying don't buy comics. If you love comics, if this is a hobby, if you love reading, if you have disposable income, if this is something that you just enjoy collecting because of the art, because of the whatever it is, the nostalgia, please, none of this has anything to do with it. If you're jumping into this under the presumption that in the last couple of months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it happens to be, this market has been running up, we've seen this before. And the ass has fallen out of the market before. So please, as a public service announcement from someone who sells comic books for a living, I don't need to be telling you this. I could just tell you, hey, fucking give me all your money. Straight up. I don't need to be saying it, but the fact is I want to say it because I love the comic industry. And I don't like watching people become disenfranchised with purchases they make. And I don't like people walking away from comics and feeling like they don't want to be involved in it anymore. So I take it somewhat personally because I want you to enjoy this and I want it to be affordable. And there are reasons to put out big nominations of money, large, I'm telling you. There are reasons, first appearances of certain heroes especially, that are just, it's an asset. There's no way to quantify it other than looking at it as a diversification of assets, where you might not be invested in a stock, you might not be invested in art per se, you might not be invested in a business or in a hedge fund or whatever your investment vehicle happens to be. You might be invested in comics, but that is a very viable investment at a certain level. But when you talk about following fear of missing out, you start to become the mark. You're the one driving the prices up. 99% of these books should be books that are worth a couple of bucks after they're new on the stands, regardless of condition. I mean, I really hate to break it to everybody trying to slang books, but that's the fact of the matter. There are 1 to a handful, maybe, across all imprints, books a month. If we exclude ridiculously rare exclusives that are almost non-existent in the wild anyways, that are potentially viable as books, please do not let this become something where you don't enjoy it. Comic books are meant to be enjoyed. And yes, they can be an asset. And yes, they can be a nice store of value. But you need to do it properly. And if you use the fear of missing out, and if you use current market speculation prices, there's a much better chance that you're going to end up getting hurt than you're going to end up profiting. And even if you don't, you're probably hurting another comic collector on the other end because, let's face it, we're not slanging Bitcoin here. Come on. This is comic books. We're trying to have a good time. Remember, if you're looking to do this the right way, there's a multitude of ways to go out there and make a bag of doing it the right way. Don't do this so at the end of the day you got a bad taste in your mouth. Comic books are supposed to be fun. I'm Codi from Big Beaver Comics. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Occasionally I come on here and run my motherfucking mouth. Otherwise, you can catch us doing live sales over on Facebook at Big Beaver Comics or on Instagram at Big Beaver Comics as well. Catch us at bigbeavercomics.ca. I'm Codi for my boy Anthony. You can catch us another time. Remember, wear a fucking condom, eh? Stay safe out there. Peace.